Hey, I'm Dr. Alain Desaunier, founder and co-owner. Like, where am I here? Co-owner of Revolution Health with Dr. Chris Chassiglu. And today's topic is this. When can I get a self-upgrading iPhone? Why do I have to keep upgrading these things every couple years? Jeez. All right, so let's get into it. So I'm an Apple guy. I love my iPhone. I always have since the first iPhone came out. I've always loved it. It's just been so cool. I've got a Mac that I'm using here. I've got my iPad here. I'm like hooked into the Apple infrastructure, the Apple universe. And you may be too, or you might be like, no man, I'm an Android person, or I love Linux or Windows or whatever it is. But these really amazing things that we hold in our pockets and we hold in our hands and we stare at all day are these incredible powers of computing, of art, it's just amazing what we can do with these things. Now, while it's really, really cool, this is the iPhone 11. There's now an iPhone 12. There's about to be an iPhone 13. There's all kinds. They've always upgrading these phones. I remember the first one, like my last one before this was before the iPhone 11 Pro was I had the iPhone 6S. And when I first got that phone, oh my God, it was the best phone ever. Like I could not believe the stuff that I could do. But by the time right before I got this one, it was like, oh my God, this 6S is the worst. What is going on with this thing? Why is it so slow? So I upgraded it. And so what happens after a while is either the computing power gets better, the apps get more complex, the stuff starts to die out on these things, and we're faced with the dilemma. I was like, well, do I invest in a new phone? Do I invest in a new device so that I can utilize more computing power, more RAM, more this, more that, so I can do all of these really cool things with these updated apps and all this stuff? Or do I downgrade my experience and stay with my old phone and just not be able to do as much? Most of us, we choose to upgrade our phones because what's more important than just kind of like just getting by is having an amazing experience with these and being able to do like cutting edge things with these things. Absolutely amazing. Now, have you considered that with your health and with your body, there's some very similar things that are going on? Now, if you can imagine this is really cool. So your body is your hardware. This is like the infrastructure that carries you around, that allows for this experience, just like this thing here. The phone in and of itself, when it's powered off, does nothing. It's just like a brick. It does nothing. But same thing with our bodies. I mean, if you've ever seen a dead body, or if you can imagine a dead body, it's a body, it's there, but the person is not there. The experience of being in that body is not there. So we've got this hardware. Now we've also got this operating system. So nothing can be done on this phone without the Apple operating system, right? Same thing whether you have a Samsung phone, you've got a Galaxy this, you got a whatever, it runs the Android OS. Now let's say right here, like I'm on my Mac, it has the Mac OS. You can have a Windows operating system, you can have whatever operating system, but it's that operating system which runs at the foundation of everything else, all of these apps, that allows all of those apps to run. Now in your body, your operating system essentially is in your brain. Your brain and nerve system is the operating system of the rest of your body. For your heart to beat, for your lungs to breathe, for a simple cut to heal in your arm, all healing and function happens because of this operating system. The brain, the spinal cord, and out from there, those wires that connect all the different parts of our bodies, the nerves. Now, your brain and your nerve system is the operating system. Your body is the hardware. And then all of the stuff that we do, all of the things that we're able to experience, all of the things we can taste and touch and feel and do every single day, those are the apps, right? So what's interesting with these is that the software will upgrade, the operating system will sometimes upgrade, but what will never upgrade on this phone is the hardware. And so it gets tough sometimes because the hardware becomes a little bit older, there's newer versions of this, and so it becomes tough for the operating system to run on really slow hardware. So we're faced with the dilemma of either downgrading, or not necessarily downgrading, but just staying at where we're at with the hardware so that we can't run a different or a newer operating system. We can't run the newest and the best apps, but sometimes that's okay. But when it comes to your body, it's very different. What happens is it's so interesting and so cool. It's one of the coolest things is that your body self-upgrades. Your body self-updates all the time. It's always updating based on the things that we learn, based on the things that we take in, and based on the things that we do. And so if you want to actually upgrade your body, if you want to update the software, update the firmware, update the hardware in your body, all you need to do is lead a healthy life. So what you're doing is, so we call it the foundational four. So we break it down to the foundational four domains of health, which is fitness, fuel, focus, and frame. So fitness, moving your body, what many people call exercise, movement, mobility, all of those things. Fuel, the things that we take into our body, right? The things that we eat. Many people call it diet. Many people call it regime, whatever. It's the things that we take into our body, the things that fuel us. Focus. So the things that we think about. So developing a growth mindset, developing a mindset that propels us forward, a positive space, all that stuff. And then our frame, which is your spine, your nerve system, your alignment, making sure that your body is well aligned, moving properly, and allowed to make sure your brain can communicate with the rest of your body properly. So if you're taking care, if you're developing and have habits and strategies and rituals every single day that feed those foundational four areas, your body upgrades, your body updates, your body gets better, and your body becomes healthy. Now, one of the interesting things that happens, unlike this, when it comes to this, you can just do a certain amount of things, and after a while, you'll always be able to kind of run the basic apps on this phone. But once there's newer software to be had, if it can't handle this, well, whatever. That's that. When it comes to your body, it's a little bit different, because if you don't do the things that will upgrade and update your hardware, software, and operating system, you actually don't just stay the same. We all just think like, well, if I were to do these things, if I was to get fit, if I was to eat better, if I was to get in alignment, get my adjustments, clear out the BS that's in my brain and in my mind, then I would get better. But I don't, so I'll just stay the same. We just stay status quo, but that doesn't happen. When we don't do those things that are necessary to create health, to create those upgrades, we actually start downgrading. We actually start downgrading. Our firmware, our hardware, our operating system starts to lag. It starts to crash. We start to not be able to experience and not be able to use the apps that we once were, which is not too great. And so all of a sudden, if we don't do that for enough period of time, we get sick, we get into pain, our body starts to malfunction. There starts to be things that we get injuries, things that pop up, seemingly out of nowhere. But it's the habits that we have today that will predict your future health every single time. So where along those foundational four, over your fitness, fuel, focus, and frame, are you not doing things to upgrade? Are you not doing things to stay updated so that you're making sure that your body will self-update, that will self-upgrade? And where are those things? And if you're not doing those things, then start doing those things, right? Because I'll tell you what, having this, as amazing as my iPhone 3G, like the first iPhone that I had like the second version of the iPhone, was my first one. I remember it totally transformed my life. It was absolutely amazing. But compared to this thing, it's a piece of crap. But this thing is amazing, right? And so just stop allowing yourself to just stay at that iPhone 3G level, and know that there's so much more available to you in the iPhone 11, the iPhone 12. There's so much more available to you in your life when your health is working for you, when your body is working for you, when you are strong, when you are fit, when you are just feeling vibrant, when everything is just on fire. Life just works. When this thing works, when all the things happen the way that they're supposed to, my days just work. Things just happen. It makes things so much easier for me. And I'll have you consider that the same thing happens for your body. Now, if you're not totally sure where to even start with any of this stuff, we just put together, we've just released a 4-part mini course, mini documentary series about the key principles, the key strategies that we use, not only for Dr. Chris and myself, but we use with every single one of our clients to get them the results, to get them creating those self upgrades in their own body so that they can live an amazing life and use all of the apps that they want. So it's in the description, wherever you're watching this. It might be in a link below, it might be in a comment, it might be in our bio. There's a bunch of different places, but the link will be there. So click on the link to get free instant access to that series, and drop any comments that you have. I'd love to hear from you, because we all deserve to have the latest operating system. We all deserve to live and be able to use all of the apps that are available to us in this life. So I'm Dr. Alain Desonnier, co-owner with Dr. Chris Jatziglu at Revolution Health here in Vancouver, and be awesome today.